Yo guys, I'm still Yellow, and today I figured that we should be back here again with a couple of topics that I want to talk about. It's going to be primarily about wanting to get esport towards a different type of level. Now, quickly, as always, about this very strange gameplay. This is an old file I'm not sure if I've used before. It was on my hard drive, buried down deep in there. So I figured I should showcase the old highlight replay type feature that Valve and CS used to have. This was, in my opinion, and as far as I can analyze, this was objectively the best type of thing that you could use. It should be pretty obvious when you take a look at the normal replays. Effectively speaking, this sort of stuff show you everything in between every single frag that you get, and that's also aside from where the opponents are moving as well. So this is just better all across the board. However, the after effects of the disjointed method that the new highlights got, which ruin everything. The defects, they just aren't up to snuff. They just are not good. So what will happen is that smokes will desync, and that means that it looks like you shoot through smokes, but why the hell would somebody record themselves and upload that sort of stuff? While these gameplays right here, everything is synced up. So the quote-unquote upgrade that was made many years ago, it's honestly incredibly poor and bad. But that is how we get into the main topic here. So, to me, I really want esports to reach the level that it deserves and that it should get. Currently, esports all across the globe and in general, it's not being treated equally to normal sports. So a good example here to highlight how stupid things are will be in how you can be a chess master or a chess player and you're just sitting down there and thinking extremely hard, obviously, and you have, of course, also memorized a lot of stuff and practiced a hell of a lot. And that's also aside from other lifestyle changes that are demanded for you to become a grandmaster or just getting incredibly good as well. In order to be able to travel around the world and do chess type of games in that sort of way, it demands that you get a visa. You need to be recognized as you are partaking in a sport and other smaller things. But those primary things are already big hurdles, relatively speaking, of course. Big hurdles that people within esport need to get across. So in order to do that, so that you can go to an event and so that you can compete on the stage against other professional teams in a proper LAN environment where there is no lag, no bullshit happening whatsoever. You need to be able to get that sort of stuff ironed out, and one way to do that is for you to talk to your organization, and they will be able to allow you to maybe get a visa or help you out applying for one or whatever it might take. Now, all I know is that it has been not just a difficult process or procedure, but it can also be so annoying. You really might miss out on the window that you need to have in order to be able to complete the procedure. You might miss out on the window to be able to get to the land that you are supposed to get to. Now, there are going to be a lot of different smaller news stories that have happened in the past already. For example, in Counter-Strike, where people have just about or have blatantly missed out on the application because it was either refused and they had to reapply, but they had no time, or the waiting time was maybe half a year for you to be able to get that work or sports visa or whatever the hell it's called, so that you do get proper access to the country you're going to play in. And voila, you are now screwed. So suddenly, the team that you're supposed to play with, now they need to have their coach or whoever, which does have a visa, they now need to step in instead. This is very much completely horrible and not optimal whatsoever. If we are going to have a proper esports scene worldwide, we need to get this sort of stuff sorted out. And the only way we can do that, as far as I can tell, is for us collectively, whenever we do get a chance or whenever we do get to voice our opinion or interests, we need to make it known that we want esport to be treated the same way in which sports are already treated. It might sound weird, but without this, things are only going to be annoying and things aren't going to progress further as it should be. There are obviously smaller hurdles here and there as well, aside from this main issue I wanted to highlight, that also will be some serious obstacle that is going to just annoy everything or ruin everything. But yeah, let's hit on that sort of stuff before we get into some general ways in which we can, even though I did hint at it right now, fix this sort of stuff. So other problems that are going to make things really bad for people who want to partake in esports is going to be like country-specific issues as well. So in general, when you are doing some sort of esports stuff, and there are going to be hundreds of thousands, unless it's only tens of thousands, but sometimes there will be hundreds of thousands of people watching the esport. If you're going to do that sort of stuff, and you are a country, it should be in your best interest for you to have an ambassador, or rather a professional, on that stage, right? It's going to make your country look better, and the more or the better they do as well, the better it's going to be for you. Effectively, this is something that is already done with all the other esports, right? Or not esports, I meant to say sports. If you're professional at baseball, tennis, golf, or if it's soccer or rugby or whatever the hell it might be, it doesn't really matter. It's the same ordeal, right? So to some degree, you then get a couple of different privileges based upon how good you are. So let's say that you are able to get towards that echelon of you being that good. Not only are you a professional and you're living off of it, but you're going to travel to a lot of different countries. At that sort of stage and level, this is where it should be treated by the country as something in which you should get some benefits. For example, I believe like South Korea or some of those countries, they have mandatory service requirements for people who live in those countries, in which means that if you are of a certain age, you're forced to complete military training, which is incredibly bad, right? Especially when you need to actually go to that LAN party. And you can bet every single limb you have that if that dude was insanely good at some other normal sport, he would most likely, maybe not all the time, but most likely he would get some sort of way to get around the normal service demand, right? It's just how it is, but this is the annoyance that I got currently with this sort of stuff all across the board. Why is this even a thing? So yeah, let's hit on a couple of other things as well. I know that in Norway, or to some degree, it might not be a completely up-to-date type of information, but here in Norway, our taxes are so high, if you want to live off of esports, you almost need to have some sort of different income method, because it's going to pay so poorly, and our taxes are already so high, so it's going to pay poorly relative to a normal job. You really aren't going to make ends meet or get some sort of loan for a house or whatever the hell you want to get towards. So you're effectively forced to work very broadly in the sense of doing other type of things that will generate some sort of income. But that is all good and fine. I know, however, for a fact that there are so many other smaller things or privileges or benefits that people do get in the line of work that they are in, which therefore allow them to have their ends meet instead. Like that general benefit, maybe it's some sort of a tax, not cut, exempt maybe? Is that the word? Yeah, probably is, yeah. Maybe they get that, or maybe they get other benefits. I know that there are some things there, like it will be different based on country or from country to country, I was going to say, again, by the way, but that's not the point here. The point here is that if you in Norway wanted to become a professional skier and you were insanely good, you would get so many benefits. It would be absolutely insane. Then again, we are the world champions in general in most ski branches, so who cares? That's a given. But if it was some sort of other huge sport as well, people are just tossing money and benefits at you. It's just provoking, to be honest. It's actually insulting. Because here down in the trenches of working your ass off within esports, and people are doing some insanely difficult things here as well. Yeah, you don't get shit. You don't get anything. You could just first and foremost, shut up, and secondly, go home and go to bed and do normal things. Really annoying general path that they are not forcing you into, but because of how things just aren't recognized. Yeah, this is the path that will be taken regardless. But that means that you and I, we need to, whenever we need to voice reality of the situation right here. Again, I think that chess is by far the best counterexample towards how it makes no sense that a professional within an esport, or any of them, and by that I mean like a proper esports, a game that is actually stable in that sense, it makes no sense that we shouldn't be treated the same in a lot of different ways. But that means that you and I, we need to try and figure out how the hell this sort of stuff works, because again, I'm not a politician. I don't know too much about how you change laws or how you influence things in that sort of realm. But to those who can or know how, that is like the general path we want to push towards, because without that, things aren't really going to improve in the direction that makes things more enjoyable for all of us and are going to fix some of these problems which haven't gone away for like 10-15 years by now. Sure, we have been able to figure out things, but there aren't the solutions, the proper solutions that we are looking for. But yeah, that was about it for this video. Leave your interesting comments in the comment section below. Support by just leaving a comment and liking the video. That's plenty for me. Here are true related videos, blah, blah, blah. I believe in you, and I'll see you guys next time.